Hi everyone, welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm your host Scott Wagner. Today we're talking softball and baseball. We're going to be joined later by head coach Cal Bailey of the baseball team, but first we welcome softball coach Bob Allen. Always great to have you on the show, Coach. Thanks for coming back.
Nice to be here.
Yes, sir. Now, the regular season is over now as you get set to play in the conference tournament, 12 o'clock on Thursday. You play against the winner of Concord and UC. First, let's go back and talk about the regular season a little bit. Very strong season, both pitching and offensively with the bats. Just gauge your overall performance there in the regular season.
Well, I thought we played pretty well. I mean, as always, we lost 2 or 3 one-run ball games we shouldn't have lost. The big thing about the season is I believe this team could have won a lot more games than we have won, but we've just had such horrible weather that we've had so many rainouts. We lost, I believe, 10 conference games to rain.
Yeah, and that's always difficult. I know you deal with that every single year. You get the 3 seed in the tournament. You get top 4 seeds get the bye. Always nice you get to wait on to see who wins a game to play you guys in the second round. You think that's a big advantage to have a bye there in the first round?
Sometimes I do. I mean, I think sometimes playing that first game kind of helps you with the second game. As far as going into the game fresh, we should be fresh. My big concern is I don't think we've played in like 11 days. We haven't played since we played Bluefield State. And, I'm trying to keep them hitting the ball, so we've done some live pitching in the cage. My big concern is that we don't have our eye on the ball like we should when we play. But I've done everything I can do, so we'll just have to see what happens.
How difficult is that for you to be in such a rhythm? They play so many games in such a short amount of time to take an 11-day break and then go play the conference tournament.
Well, we should be rested, but at the same time, there's no substitute for getting out there and playing. And, the live hitting is the only thing I can do. I don't like pitching machines because it's almost the same place every time. And, you've got to be able to track movement on these screw balls and rise balls and curve balls. So that's what we're trying to let them see right now. And we're going to practice again today before we leave for the tournament and hit as much as we can. Defensively, we looked pretty good yesterday in practice.
Now, where you fall in the bracket right now, as I mentioned, 3rd seed. You play the winner of Concord and the University of Charleston, who play at 10 a.m., and then you'll play the winner at noon that day.
Right.
So what do you know about those 2 teams? I know you played them both recently.
Well, Charleston uses Rossman almost every game to pitch, and she's good. She goes in and out, hits her spots. I think this year she's wearing out a little bit more than she did last year. Concord really surprised me when we played them because they've got a pretty good number 1 and number 2 pitcher, and they hit the ball really well. So we split with them. They beat us 6-5. We beat them 2-1. And I really look for them to give UC all they want. So, excuse me, I thought it was off.
That's all right.
But I think that it'll be a good ball game, and I think that we can play with either one of them. But whoever makes the least mistakes will win the ball game.
Now, you talked about UC. They rely heavily on one specific pitcher. Now, when they have to play at 10 at noon, can she throw both of those games?
Oh, she will throw both those games.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind, and she throws just about every game for them now. I noticed when I looked at the stats on the Concord game, she threw up to about the 4th inning in the second game, and they started hitting her pretty good. Then she brought in another pitcher. But she throws her almost every game, and she led the nation last year in strikeouts. But, when you throw 40, 50 games,
right,
you got a good chance to do that.
Right. And I know a concern going in is overall health always for every team across the board. So how is the health of your ball club going into the tournament?
I think we're in pretty good shape. Maddie Best has a growing pull that we've had to take care of. Brittany Hyatt, her leg bothers her a little bit. But my biggest concern is Sarah Pellegrin is probably not going to be able to pitch in this tournament. She was released by the trainers yesterday, and she threw some. Not hard, and today we'll see how she does, but I really don't think we're going to have her. So that means that that Jade Weinkoff and Kelsey Lorraine are going to have to carry the load. We have been throwing Margaret Osborne, and Margaret's done a pretty good job. And then Marlena Fry's been throwing some. So I think if we needed 2 or 3 innings, we could get those two, and they're in good enough shape they could do it.
Yeah, and it's really bad timing, but then you got Weinkoff, who has been pitching really well lately in Pellegrin's absence. How do you think she's going to be able to step in? This will be her first action in the tournament. You think nerves will be a problem with her going farther?
No, she doesn't. It doesn't seem to bother her. I told her the other day that she has this trend going where she gives up a home run, and then she comes back and wins the game. And I told her we need to stop that trend. But she, when she is on, her drop ball and her changeup really do keep them off balance. And I think next year she'll come back with a curveball to go along with her screwball. You know, I'm not a big rise ball fan because it's a wonderful pitch if it's really working, but when it hangs, normally it gets knocked out of the park. So she has thrown a rise ball, but going into the tournament, we're going to just stick with a high fastball and see what happens.
Now you have some experienced players on this team, some young players on this team. How do you prepare the young players for what they're about to experience going up to Parkersburg and playing in the tournament?
You don't have to do a whole lot. These kids have played ASA. They're in big tournaments all summer long, and you know they're ready for it. So you don't have to do a whole lot there. They just got to want to win it. If they have that feeling in the heart to go up there and win the thing, you can win it. When it comes time to play, they're the ones on the field, not you.
Right. Now it was a rain out. West Virginia Wesleyan on Monday was also senior day for the girls, and that was obviously a big game. West Virginia Wesleyan, only 1 loss in the conference, would have been a very good measuring stick for the team going in to the tournament. Just talk a little bit about that opportunity missed a little bit to play West Virginia Wesleyan.
Well, they've won 19 straight games. They have a great team. They struggled with West Liberty, which was the number 13 team in the conference on, I believe it was Monday. They struggled, and it took 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to beat West Liberty. So they're human. They can be beat, and I just hope that we have the opportunity to face them in the championship up there. Of course, they could get beat in early round 2 and go into the losers bracket. So they're very strong hitting team. I think they're ahead of us now. I think they're hitting like 345 as a team, and I think we're 337. It'll be a challenge, and I hope that we play well enough to get to the championship on Saturday and play them. Yeah,
now Wesleyan, there's a couple of strong teams in this conference. The top 4 seeds are Wesleyan, Shepherd, our team, and Fairmont. And you end up in Shepherd's side, bottom part of the bracket. And I know you played Shepherd recently, and that's a team you'd like to see in the tournament.
Yeah, we got beat 1-0 and 6-5. And the second game, we gave them 5 runs before we even started playing. First game, Lorraine had 1 inning where she walked, I think, 3 straight batters, and then they hit a little blooper over third base and score, and then she gets out of the inning. So, if we eliminate those mistakes, I think we can play with them. Plus, they got knocked off by Fairmont, and Fairmont at that time was 7th or 8th in the conference, and Fairmont swept them. So they're beatable too.
Yes, sir. Well, we look forward to seeing you play Thursday, hopefully through Saturday in the conference tournament coming up this week. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you on. Now we're going to take a break. Sit tight. We'll be right back with baseball head coach Cal Bailey after these messages.